Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mitch's Minute. I sound like weirdly low energy. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to do the podcast this week, and then I'm just like, I come on and
I
I'm
don't know.
like,
I think you were regular energy, but slightly lower pitch.
hey,
Not that much lower.
what's up? What's up with you?
Welcome to the Mitch's Minute.
What's up, motherfucker?
I'm your host, Amanda.
Are we all just talking like this now?
Yes.
It's like when Miles is trying to like put his hand on Gwen's shoulder and into the Spider-Verse, and it's just like I woke up from a nap like not even 20 minutes ago. Like it's been like maybe 17 minutes, and I'm just like, yeah, because we recorded from like 11 to 3, something like that. We did like 4 hours of Danganronpa recordings.
Oh, wow.
And we're supposed to, hypothetically, continue doing more recordings after this.
Like right after.
So that's going to be super fun for us. But it's all in pursuit.
I hope you have caffeine.
Oh, believe me, I do. So, that sounded like such like a dick thing to say. No.
Definitely.
So, this week, guys, we're going to be kind of taking it a little bit more chill. Instead of having kind of a central topic, I just have a bunch of stuff I kind of want to talk about this week. Nothing quite like a question or anything, just because, admittedly, kind of tired. And I'm not really in the mood to just kind of do like a full like philosophical debate on fandoms. That'll be another week.
That's for later.
Yeah,
We'll save that for a time where everybody has full consciousness.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I do kind of want to talk. I want to talk about some show stuff right before we get started, though. This show is going to be moved. For those at home who love Mitch's Minute, Mitch, the 6 of you at home who love Mitch's Minute. This particular show is going to be. Fucking no one posted it, and I gotta do it, motherfucker.
I'm doing it right now.
All right, now I'm skimming.
It did not give.
I'm sorry, I'm putting lotion on my hands.
I'm putting lotion on my hands. No,
I'm
you're
putting
fine.
lotion on my hands. My hands is lotion sticky.
Oh Jesus!
I gotta wait for them to dry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, before you touch anything.
Oh my god!
It's a new keyboard.
Oh
I
my God.
can't.
All right. So all I was gonna try to get at was just like this show is gonna be changing days because Nate wants to get back into streaming.
Yeah.
And we
So
want to get our boy back on the show.
Yeah.
he's already on the show. Fucking.
I mean,
I like the Mitch's Minute show.
Oh, he can't come on Fridays. Everyone knows that. It's been it's been a hot second since he's been on, but like that's the beautiful thing about the beautiful thing about fucking time differences. I had to voice Monokuma for like a good portion of my day today. I'm not proud.
You're not done. You're not done.
Are we
You
still
have
okay?
my
Are we still
deepest-
doing Dangan or are we doing Fire Emblem? Because I thought no, Fire Emblem was Tuesday. Fucking, what are we
Yeah.
doing? What's the sec? Are we still doing Dangan? Is that the gimmick?
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out. Anyways, the point is that we have like okay, so there's channel stuff we got to talk about. So one, I heard you guys loud and clear. You do not like video uploads Saturday. I noticed a huge dip in our video numbers on Saturdays.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but like this week, for example, normally, like even if it's like small incremental stuff, like weekends are a busy time. I super get it. So to kind of help us handle weekends a little better, and to have you guys, kind of give you guys a little bit of a break from like the traditional formatted stuff. We are going to be coming. We're going to be coming every Saturday around like 8 o'clock instead of like the 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock show. We're going to do like an 8 o'clock kind of like Sea Point City After Dark kind of like show. And like I like that gimmick. It's a dumb gimmick, but me, Gangmudo, and Amanda have some time to record in like small batches here and there.
Yeah.
So
And having it only be once a week instead of multiple videos a week. lets you work with that a bit better.
Yeah, so like instead of getting two 15-minute videos, you guys will get like a nice chunky 30-40 minute video of a visual novel that we'll be playing. The one that's coming up is Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartending Action. That one's a game that was highly requested.
That's a mixture of concepts.
Well, it's one that's been requested like a lot. So we're trying to get the folks what they want, what they deserve.
Oh, yeah, it sounds cool. I'm just like Valhalla Cyberpunk Barkeep Action.
Yeah, well, it's a
That's
whole.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it is. Man, I just realized like your motherfuckers, your fucking audio are always so much quieter than mine, and I'm trying to like. I have been having a fucking nightmare with this fucking setup like the last couple times, and my only solution at this point is just to turn myself down because there's no so I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna turn myself down like to -2.5 so that like I don't so that people when they're listening in they're like, oh, it's like oh like one of you guys are talking and then I start talking and then it's like just like boom.
I know. You're
Mitch,
the like
why?
in between commercial,
Oh my
between like
God.
the quiet TV show.
You know what the worst part is?
Why are commercials so much louder than they need to be?
You know what the worst part is? I literally turn you guys up, and now somehow you guys are quieter. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I don't know what it is or like what kind of god audio god is like. You know what? Fuck you, bitch. I'm like, fuck, man.
I don't know what kind of game you two are fucking playing.
No, so yeah, just you guys are just like more purposely quieter like as we go.
We're turning our inputs down.
But no,
That would be hilarious.
So I've been running into this fucking issue for like the last week. When me and Gang Widow did stuff, we were trying to finish up. We finished a show, we finished a series, and like that came out okay. It's just the last 3 episodes. I'm gonna have to run like a compressor on it, or if anyone knows anything about like audio shit, it's running it through dynamics and putting turning it up, compressing it down. It's not perfect, but it's a way to fix the problem. Anyways, that's not what I want to talk about this fucking week. This other channel news. We will be coming back to streaming soon. I promise. It's just trying to get that time and get that right. I'm just trying to get that timing right, and that's kind of where I'm at least. So just trying to get that done. But do not worry, the show will always come on. We just have to find the right day to do Mitch's Minute and trying to figure out like when that needs to come out and when it works for everyone else and all that stuff. Because every other day, ironically, is like filled to the brim of shit. So it's just trying to get everything to work. Because I like right before this, we were like, oh yeah, well let's do Friday, and then I immediately remembered Friday might not work. Because Friday is, ironically, the time that me, Gang Widow, and Amanda are supposed to record that show. So, like, every day is something else. Every day is, filled. So, like, besides, obviously, the 2 break days I give us, which are my D&D days. And then, like, so it's there's always something going on. I hope you guys like Fire Emblem, because that shit's going to be going for, like, a long time. So...
Oh, yeah. They seem to be enjoying Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I've been reading some of the comments and stuff, and, like, one of my favorite ones so far, I normally don't, like, read comments loud on Mitch's Minute, but I thought this one was kind of funny. It's Free Will Killbo or something like that. Said like multiple times during this video, did I spit on my screen in laughter? And I'm like, I felt so bad. There's that moment where I'm like, oh no.
Which one was that?
It was Fire Emblem #1. So like that was kind of a fun one to kind of do. Yeah, so like that's the thing. I hope you guys like Fire Emblem, because that shit is gonna be going for some time. We're gonna be doing a lot of Fire Emblem for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I gotta say, I think I came into this knowing you were probably going to go flawed, and I was right. I am also delighting over you guys making the names 10 times more complicated to pronounce than they need to be.
Oh, it's so
You
real
guys are
because we're
struggling
doing
over
it.
even really simple names, and it's just
Dude,
kind of
we're
funny.
doing it at like I'm doing it at like 8 in the morning. It's 7, 8 in the morning. So it's just like, Amanda, get up. Amanda, read.
Brain is not turned on just yet.
Edelgard.
Dude, I keep calling her Edelheart, like, outside of the game, because I'm like, oh yeah, like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
Edelheart, and you're like, no.
it's Edelgard.
I mean, in terms of JRPG European fake names, that makes about as much sense as any of the other ones.
Well, it reminds me of Reinhardt, like that whole gimmick and shit. But anyways, the point is that, like, keep going for, like, we're gonna keep doing Fire Emblem. I think you guys get another week of Dongan, and then, like, there's some other shows that we have in the works, and there's other shows on the back burner. We still got to find a way to get you guys Kingdom Hearts, because we're so close to beating that game, and I'm so ready to just have it done. I'm so ready, because Sora, me and you have to talk about that fucking game and how we're feeling about it, because I was enamored and in love, and after, like, months of slowly digesting it, it is not great. It is not.
It's a delight on first viewing, but then you think about it for a little bit and you're like, wait, huh?
Well, that's the thing. Gameplay wise, it's great. Like, not to get too into it obviously right now, but, like, gameplay wise, super good. It's probably one of the best played ones. I would argue, and even then, I say that it feels kind of hollow, because I think of KH2, and I think of the drive forms, and as much as I like Keyblade transformations, there is something that feels a little off in comparison to the drive forms wielding multiple Keyblades and etc. Like, that was like a definite step in the right direction, but, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not asking to hold 3 Keyblades like Rorowan Zolo. I'm just fucking, like, saying that maybe include something that would have been like that. I don't know. But anyways, the point is that, like, we're having a hard time with Kingdom Hearts 3, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. And it's not coming from, like, cynicism or bitterness. It's coming from playing the game for as long as we have. There is just some issues that are popping up. And it didn't pop up when Sora originally played the game, because he went through it like Avengers Endgame, just a 3-hour dive. But, like, he went through it real quick, and we're going through it real slow. So it's like slowly eating a brownie over the course of 3 months. No,
you slowly get to realize all the little bits.
Yeah, you come to appreciate the things that are great, but then you come to, like, really, like, it's an interesting process. That being said, though, that's pretty much all the channel stuff we have to talk about this week. It's just the struggle of being like, well, we're going to cut down to, like, 11 or 10 videos. But we do have some projects and stuff coming down the way. I'm very excited for them. So we'll get there as we continue on. Which kind of leads me into the topic that I wanted to talk about this week for my own personal topic. Fucking beat Shadowbringers, motherfucker! Fucking, I'm so fucking happy. I'm so fucking happy. For those of you at home who do not know, I'm super into Final Fantasy XIV. And just recently, like today, I beat Shadowbringers today. Got my weathered equipment. I've been playing Gunbreaker. I've been tanking. I went from being a DPS main to a fucking Gunbreaker main. Not even tanking, just Gunbreaker. I tried the other tanking classes, and it's not as fun. They really made Gunbreaker feel really, really good. It's nice and quick. It has fun combos. It has, like, really, it's just nice. It's what I wanted Dark Knight to be. And Dark Knight kind of, okay, so for those at home who don't know, there's 4 tanking classes: Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, and Gunbreaker, which is the newest one that came out for Shadowbringers. Paladin is, you have your shield, so, like, you have the extra defense buffs. It's not really AoE stuff, it's more single target kind of stuff, and, like, it's really neat because you do have, like, abilities in which it's like increase your parry rate for, like, always parry attacks or always block attacks with your fucking shield, so that it lowers the amount of damage you're getting for, like, 4 whole seconds and, like, stuff like that. Like, it's really good. And this is by no means me being like, Mitchell's gonna diss all the other tank classes. Yo, what up? No, I'm not doing that.
They just don't play as well for you.
Well, yeah, because it's like a fighting game. every character has a fighting style. Every character is built specifically to accommodate like a specific style. You have heavy characters, you have balanced characters, you have fast characters, you have trickster characters, like gimmicky kind of stuff. And I feel like that's a lot of what I'm feeling when it comes to the other tank classes. Warrior's all about big AoE damage dealing cool shit. Like warriors get a shit ton of damage out there, helps the party out. Dark Knights do a really good job at like doing some really interesting, like I would almost say it's like tricky, where it's like you're consuming magic and shit to like really get a bunch of stuff done, like AoE stuff. Well, it used to be AoE stuff. You get to do like really like super moves that cost MP, and then like you get to do all sorts of cool stuff. And then there's Gunbreaker, who has mechanics that remind me a lot of Old Machinist. And which is the gun class in FF14, ironically, right? Where you're doing like combos and stuff, and as you're doing combos, you build up quote unquote cartridge points, and those cartridge points can be used to further your combo, to perform a special combo, to do like special finisher moves, and those moves are really like, it feels good. So like you feel like you're helping out with like I don't know, like it's kind of weird when I first saw Gunbreaker, I'm like, how is this a tank class? Because it's just like I know what a Gunblade is. I played FF8, but I'm like, how is that a tanking class? And then like as I play it, like I get it. I'm like, okay, I get it. So the cartridges also cast protective spells and shit like that. Like there's this really nice one, like Heart of Steel. It's Heart of Steel or Heart of Valor or something like that, where you take the gunblade, you shove it into the ground, and you pull the trigger, and a big defensive buff comes around everyone. So like when everyone's gathered to take like a big brunt of damage, and you're all like about to like, everyone's like wincing in pain, like they're ready to like, you know, like, you know, they're gritting their teeth. You throw that down, and it helps kind of like stabilize shit. So like it used to be tanks were like deep, like we're like kind of like DPS, like slightly, yeah, but now they have like these defensive buffs that are really nice, and I do like that specific skill. I like the fact that like Gunbreaker also has a skill in which, like, let's say I'm taking too much damage, or like someone's like randomly targeted and they're taking a little bit too much damage and the healer's too focused on me, I can send a little regen buff onto that player. So, like, it can be used for me to help the healers out, or it can be used to, like, help another healer out, or to help, like, there's been scenarios where it's like, I notice a tank's taking a little bit too much damage, and I'm like, oh, well, shit, because we're all taking too much damage. So there's a lot of medicas going around, like, a lot of AoE healing, but not a lot of, like...
concentrated healing that's getting at least one person up there fast enough.
Yeah, so, like, then the plan becomes, like, alright, so then I just cast my spell, it all works out fine, you know, no harm, no foul. And, like, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Gunbreaker feels... It feels quick, it feels, like, I feel, like, great. Especially when Blaster Zone turns into Danger Zone or some shit like that. Like, at level 80, your like, 30-second cooldown technique, like, goes down... Or not goes down, but it increases from like 200 base damage to 500 base damage, so it more than doubles, and it's so good. It's so good.
That's crazy.
And so like when you're doing like these level 80 dungeons, you just get a free 500 smack in the face to the enemy, and it looks awesome. It feels great. I've really enjoyed Gunbreaker, and I'm gonna continue enjoying Gunbreaker. It's definitely, I was never really, like, I had gotten a couple of tank classes up to 1560 back in Heavensward, and then I skipped out for Stormblood, so, like, coming back to this game, and having a class that I can really just, like, call my own, and, like, feel, like, comfortable going into stuff, like, if you had asked me, like, a month ago, or, like, maybe 2 months ago, when I came back, well, I know it's only been a month, if you had asked me, like, a month ago when, like, I came back into FF14, like, if I was, like, okay being a tank, I'd be like, no, I was terrified. I didn't want to, you know, like, I didn't want to fuck up, because enemy generation, stuff like that. But, like, now I'm so comfortable with it, like, because it's like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna lose enemies. Like sometimes I'm not lose enemies, but like sometimes you're gonna like start you're gonna pool, but then because of a regen effect or some dumb bullshit, like someone else is gonna get enmity, and you just gotta as long as no one dies, I count that as a victory. So
yeah, you've passed the learning curve, or at least the initial one.
Yeah, so like I'm excited because what lies ahead is like I just unlocked Expert Roulette, which is like the extra like hard dungeons. I wouldn't necessarily call them hard, but they're like the level 80 dungeons. I'm looking forward to doing the new raids, which is like Eden something, and I'm saving that till when I get back from my trip, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Depends on how you're feeling,
Yeah. Well, I have. That's the thing. I will say I've been using a lot of a channel called MTQ Capture, I think is what they're called. They do like these really, really nice they do these really nice videos that kind of help you like they explain all the details of what's happening in like a dungeon or a trial, so that like you don't have to go in and have to play a lot of guesswork. So like for example, there's a trial right before Stormblood like finishes called Tsukiyomi. And Tsukiyomi has this one gimmick where if you stay on, like, she splits the circular platform into halves, and one half is black and one half is white. And if you get to like, and over like a course of like 5 seconds or something like that, you build up stacks. So like one white, and then like it eventually becomes 3 or 4, and then eventually if it becomes four stacks, like I think you instantly die.
Fun.
So you have to constantly switch. You have to play hot potato between the two platforms. And I've run into so many parties where it's like they either don't know, or like it's not explained to them, or they forget. And I'm guilty. I've done that where it's like, even I've watched the video and everything, and like because it happens so fast, and because there's so much happening on the screen, I'm not like fully paying attention, and like I die. Like, so it's definitely an experience. Shadowbringers as a story was really, really good. It like I will admit I did get a little bored near the halfway, like a little bit of like around the start of the third act. I did get super bored. Just because the gimmick had kind of faded. For those of you at home who do not know, Shadowbringers kind of takes place in an alternate universe of what you're used to in Final Fantasy XIV. So there's all these locations and name changes, but essentially, for the most part, like there's places on the map that like correspond to place that you would know in Final Fantasy. So like
there's enough similarities that you can figure your way around.
Yeah, kinda. So like there's a lot of setting similarities. So like there's, for example, instead of having one of my favorite places, which is Linza Lominza, there is a place called Elmore, and Elmore is like this interesting kind of take on that idea. So like Linza Lominza is a pirate town, or was founded on piracy and stuff like that. And then it became like a real government with like an actual army and like actual people who live in the city.
Yeah.
Whereas Elmore is a unique setup in which everyone who comes into Elmore, like if they're rich, if you pay enough money, you kind of, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but if you have like enough money or skills, talents, you can get into Elmore as either like one of the free or one of like kind of like the worker class kind of setup. So like if you serve a purpose in Elmore, you get this position, and everyone gets kind of treated differently depending on it. So you have the people who like are rich, who just get like, they just hand out all their money and properties over to Elmore, and then they get they get the pampered life forever. Like that's kind of the gimmick. Like, and then you have the working class who have like skills, like artist, chef, stuff like that. Where like, and then part of it is like they get like on their off time, they get to live in this like utopian paradise, but it's run by a horrible monster man, and it's like it's this interesting kind of like take on stuff. And I that's the stuff I really enjoyed, was going to Elmore and seeing that kind of stuff. I loved going through like some of the inspirations and stuff. There's a fairyland where everyone speaks.
Oh god, the fairies are so fucking gorgeous too. Holy shit.
Yeah, like the fairy.
Yeah, they have good designs for them.
Yeah,
Oh, they're beautiful.
I think like the fairies have like these really like nice designs. They have like a nice heavy. I think it's like a Scottish accent or an Irish accent. I apologize. I don't really hear the difference.
They talk like this, laddie?
Maybe not. Maybe not like in the stereotypic way. But like they do have like accents, and like one of the things that I like is that there are times when there is a translated word for what they're trying to say, but they say the word for it rather than like one of the fairies keeps calling you like young sapling or something like that. Mm-hmm. And instead of saying young sapling, they say like the word associated with it in that language. So it's fun. There's a lot of world building. There's a lot of moments I've had where it's like, oh, that's a cute little callback or reference. And in one of the level 80 dungeons, there was a big callback to my favorite fucking raid back in Heavensward, and I was flipping my shit because I'm like, oh, the implications here are crazy. The Ironworks Guild did what? And it's like, oh my god, like I don't know. That's the kind of shit I live for. Is like fun callbacks. Like that's the whole thing I want with like an alternate universe kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of going out of your way to set it in an alternate universe if you're not going to do something fun and interesting with the canon you've previously presented?
Yeah, and like one of the things that like I really just enjoyed was like the world was interesting. Like I liked the gimmick that like the sky is always daytime. It's always light. And like having that be kind of like that being the name of like the expansion, like, oh, you're the Shadowbringer, you bring back the night sky. Like that's a cool gimmick. Unfortunately, I think I preferred the lands when they were drenched in light because I can't see a goddamn thing at night sometimes. But
yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when games decide, oh, we're gonna have a dark setting, it's like, okay,
yeah,
but we still need to be able to see enough that we can go around the corner without walking into the wall 20 times.
Yeah, Gridania is a bitch to maneuver through when because all of Gridania is a forest. So when it's nighttime and raining, the forest of Gridania is impossible to see through. I remember first playing it, and I've gotten used to it now. But Gridania was my like starting point. So essentially your starting point is your quote unquote home. And I remember running around in the dark while it was raining. I'm like level 20 something. And I can't fucking see where I'm going. Next thing I know, I'm in an area full of like level 30 somethings. And I'm like, oh fuck. And I just start running.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. Can you at least like futz with the brightness settings enough that you can sort of see, or is it like on a lock because they think that might enable cheating or something?
Well, you can change like the brightness settings, and it's for me it's very rare like that. Like it'll happen to that extent, but there have been dungeons in the past, especially like before Heavensward and stuff like that, where it's like, oh no, like like fucking. The Orm Vale, like maybe not the Orm. I think I might have fucked that name up, but like there's certain dungeons in which is like the whole point is that it's dark, and so it's like, well, fuck, like what am I supposed to do here? But like that being said, though, Shadowbringers was just really, really good. I bitched about it enough in another episode of Mitch's Minute, but my only real complaint is there's a lot of people who bought a class for $25. Got to 70, fucking bought everything for the expansion, thought that they could go straight into Shadowbringers, and that's not the case.
No.
Because, and it's not that, because here's the thing, the game will technically let you do it. Please, just do.
For the sake of your own sanity and that of your party members.
Don't.
Like, please just
play the game a bit and get used to it first.
Yeah, go do like level 50 stuff, or do main scenario, or do something that like maybe not in a main scenario, but do something in which like you're going to go ahead and like get some like experience, because you can buy anything you want. You can buy any class you want to 70. But if you don't know how to maximize your DPS output, your fucking healing shit, your fucking tanking shit, if you don't know from battle experience, from going into trials and raids and dungeons for like months or like weeks at least, like there's some things that you just miss. One of the things that I got really very irritated with when I was in like when I would do leveling and get thrown into like lower level like dungeons, and not 16, not like the first ones, but like 56 or 52 or like whatever, is there's players who will pool a bunch, like an archer, like an archer or a bard, who will pool a bunch of shit and be like, all right, save me now. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, that's not your job.
Why did you do that?
Well, okay, so I understand. I think I do. The idea is that he's like, well, we can handle this, or let's keep going. Like, don't let these guys knock you down. And it's like, okay, that's my job. My job is to determine how much we can handle. There are times where like I'll be with a party and we will be good. I can pull a bunch of shit and we'll be good. There are times where that's not going to work because one, the healer might not know how to handle like a big chunk healing like that,
or they might be a bot, as you've had a couple experiences with.
Oh my god, that's a whole nother thing. But the point is that like if you're going into Shadowbringers and you haven't played any of the other stuff, and you only bought like let's say a samurai or a bard or whatever, and you bought that pass, just go and understand your combos, watch some videos and some guides so that you get your rotations down, because I cannot express enough. I was level 71, or in a level 71 dungeon, which is like the first thing in Stormblood, watching a samurai do not his full combo, just arbitrarily picking which ones he wants to do, and his DPS output wasn't enough, and it just made everything last forever. Just forever. Yep. So
I feel like this was sort of a thing with the latest DMC game as well, because like orbs were technically buyable, and people were like, oh, but then newbies can just like buy all the moves right off the bat without trying, and I'm just sort of sitting there like, okay, but they'd be kind of stupid to do that. Because just because you have a move doesn't mean you know how to use it.
Yeah. And then the thing with Final Fantasy XIV is that it does checks on you to see that, like, to essentially make sure that you know what you're doing. So sometimes buying out of your class doesn't help anyway, because it's like, hey, we did this dungeon, this mechanic in a dungeon about 3-4 times. You should know it by now, right? You don't. I guess you're gonna die.
Or my personal favorite, the not the Orm Veil. Fuck that. My personal favorite is there is a DPS check in Titania, which is one of the new trials in Shadowbringers, and they beat it into you that like this is a DPS check. You need to do this amount of damage in this amount of time to pass this check.
And if not, too bad.
You wipe and you have to start all over again. And mind you, this is 6 minutes into an 8-minute trial. So if you fail it then, you have to do the whole fucking thing over again.
Oh, joy.
So, especially with, like, trials love to pull that shit off. Where it's like, this is a DPS check. This is the DPS check portion. Make sure your gear is all set. Please, for the love of God, do not go into a trial without the right gear. Like, it might say that, like, oh, your bare minimum is this. But please, just please.
Yeah, I feel like minimum, like, I mentioned before, I always over-level in Pokemon, and it's like, I would probably do the same thing in that kind of scenario. I am very cautious about being at least blank, depending on what the max and minimum level is.
Well,
blank over the minimum requirement.
So that's the thing, though. Like, hypothetically, everyone should be fine. Like, that's fine. It's just, I think... This is a very, very old reference, but back on Super Best Friends Play, Pat would talk about this way back in Heavensward. I remember him bringing something up about how, like, people, because you couldn't buy passes, but what people could do is they could go out into the overworld and farm something called duties, which if you perform like a duty, or not a duty, a fate, and if you just kept grinding fates, it didn't matter if you were good or not. It just mattered if you completed it, which would then level you up, and that was that was a big problem in itself, because then people would not even have dungeon experience and they would just go ahead. But I don't want to bitch and moan about fucking things that have nothing to do with like what the creators made for the expansion. That's just user-based stuff. And I will say, now that I am at 80, now that I am doing expert roulette, now that I am like finally here, like the game feels great. I feel so goddamn accomplished. And like I cannot wait to just start, like that's now the fun stuff begins for me, which is like the grinding out like the new tomes and getting even more gear and min-maxing and all that dumb shit I like, because I am insane, and that's where I'm at. Shadowbringers is fucking awesome. If you have not tried Final Fantasy XIV, please give it a shot. Despite everything I said about new players and stuff like that, it is really good. I know it seems insurmountable, but this game is just really, really good, and like it's just so solid. That being said, I'm gonna bring Shadowbringers to an end. I want to play it like right now. Fucking, it's like an addiction. I want to talk about Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yes.
So Fire Emblem Three Houses. For those at home who don't know, somehow we've been playing this for like the last week.
Somehow following this
an
channel,
entire
I
week.
noticed.
Yeah, it's our most viewed show right now. For like the last, like, ever since we came back for Save Point, this is our most viewed show. We've played a little bit further into the game. There are so many good moments. I really am looking forward to this week for you guys, because there's so many funny fucking moments that I can't talk about. But I'm just like, man, we really just like shove a character under the bus, despite it being entirely my fault. that he was in.
Which character?
Inget's the kid with the glasses. I did.
Ignatz.
Yeah, Ingots or whatever.
Quit calling him Ingots. It's Ignis.
I was a gatherer for 60 levels, man. I
thought Ignis was a guy from Final Fantasy 15.
No, he's the kid with the glasses. Essentially, like I do some in like one of the like first episodes, or like it's I think it's in one of the first episodes of like this upcoming week. No, it's like Wednesday or something like that. The point is that there is an episode coming up in which there will be a moment where I do something really stupid, but we just associate it with that character, and we just throw him under the bus repeatedly after that. And it's a really, really fun time, and I really, really enjoy it.
It's a really fun time throwing this child under the bus.
It's really funny, dude. I cannot express enough how funny it is. That being said, though, I will say this: Fire Emblem Three Houses is still super solid. It's still very much looking forward to the next time we get to play it. Whether that's maybe not tonight, maybe Tuesday.
Yeah.
But like, I love this game. I cannot express enough how like I've only played like maybe like 5-6 hours of this. But like I'm still not past like we're still not past like a certain part. Like we might as well still be in chapter 1. Like it's really good. I'm really, really, really enjoying this game. I will say that like the map could be better. I wasted like there's a 40-minute long episode that I'm gonna try to trim down the best that I can, because I can't find shit. So
yeah, it's essentially us just screaming, going, "Where the fuck do we go?"
Yeah, it's not great. But like that's the thing. So Fire Emblem Three Houses, it's so good. It's just like everyone's saying the same thing. This game is really solid. I did find out recently that Edelgard, God, I almost said Heart. Edelgard is the most popular character to play, apparently, out of all three of them, which surprised me. but not really. Because all I imagine, I still don't know if this is true or not. All I imagine is just like, for the Empire! It's just... That's all I keep thinking. It's like, because empires are never good in fiction. Never. There's never been
Very rarely, if ever.
glory to the Rustaban Empire. Like,
I think the only game in which I've seen an empress or emperor portrayed in a positive light is like the Dishonored series.
Was she an empress? I thought she
Well,
was
the
like a
queen was. The empress Jessamine, who was killed, she was, and then Emily, who's one of the protagonists in the second game, is empress. At the beginning and end, minus the coup in the middle of it that she has to deal with.
Yeah, why is it that way that empress and emperors are like
evil?
Evil, but like kings and queens are usually pretty chill.
Normally,
I've seen evil kings.
Normally have their own territory that they just kind of manage, whereas an empire implies that you actively have gone to invade and colonialize other places.
Yeah. I mean that's. I'm thinking. I'm like back to Shadowbringers, the Guardian Empire. No, the fucking. The only time I can think of an empire that was portrayed in a good light is when Mulan has to save the emperor in the titular Mulan.
In the titular film, Mulan.
No, but like that's. I mean, I don't know. But anytime she brings empire, I'm like, man, this bitch, she's gonna fucking turn on us. It's gonna be real. Like that. Like, well, not to be that.
I mean, isn't the conceit of Three Houses is that they all start out as really great friends, and then they all end up in opposing conflicts with each other?
Well, I mean, that's, I think, well, because, okay, so that's the thing, right? So I'm wondering, like, okay, when is that going to happen? One, and two, like, who's going to start it? Because I don't know. When I, like I said, not to be like, well, I'm looking at you, Miss Empire. Like, fucking, I don't know.
I don't know. I would really love it if Claude was the one who started shit.
Yeah, well, that's Mr.
I don't know. I mean, he was the first one to think about the whole, oh, let's poison our opponent's approach.
Well, that's him just being a goofball. That's Mr. Guardians of the Galaxy.
His opponents.
That's Mr. Guardians of the goddamn galaxy over there. Fucking... I don't... He says it, but I don't think for a second he means it. He's just trying to make light of something. Like, when I look at Claude, I see a character who's charismatic, who's fun. Like, I see a character who, like... Now, if he does end up eventually poisoning people, I'll be like, well, fuck. You're just... Well, like... You're just Jet from fucking Avatar. But like,
well, like that's the thing is that he's also because he's always talking about his family. I think maybe if like he's like, well, my grandfather kind of told me to. Then
or
I think
like I have to do this because my family will blank if I don't.
Well, if you like, the thing that always gets me is the fact that he refers to his grandfather, but he's never brings up his own parents. So, like, that's something that I've been keeping note of. I don't think anyone has talked about his parents. So,
interesting. And is that because they're dead and nobody wants to bring this up, or is it because they're assholes and nobody wants to bring this up?
We're not sure.
Well, like the only way we're gonna find out is when we keep playing.
Exactly, but it's a question to ponder.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, Three Houses has been a really solid play. I've been enjoying it a lot. I cannot wait to play it more. Yeah.
And romance Claude.
I don't know. I don't want to get into this. Okay, we're not getting into it. We're not going to get into it right now because that would defeat the purpose.
Really gung ho at the front of it.
We will.
Yeah, something happened.
So watch the show and come back, and we will talk about it again. That being said, guys, it's been a time. It's been real. But I guess this
oh
is,
God, already?
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's all.
Mitch needs another nap.
Well, I front loaded the conversation with only like 2 subjects, both of which were video games we were playing. So just so everyone knows, I will be out of town for a couple days this weekend. Video should still go up the same, hopefully. If not, I'm really, really sorry about that. But this week you get to look forward to more Fire Emblem Three Houses. We did record a shit ton of Danganronpa, so hopefully that comes out. We also have some other series, like I said, on the back burner, but we just gotta find ways to get them out, because we're still trying to get a good idea of like what's the right amount of videos to give you guys every week, because some people were not fans, obviously, but like some people were suggesting that we upload, instead of 2 videos a day, like 1 video a day. I don't
make it longer or something.
No, I would that.
No, just
video,
one.
same length. Yeah.
Well, that's yeah, because they're just like, well, 2 videos a day will like cause problems and stuff. Like 2 videos a day will like stress you guys out. They're only half right. They're only half right. The only reason we're like, it's just trying to not break the symmetry too, because it's like, oh, 5 days of Fire Emblem. It's like we don't want to break that up to like 4 days and then like an episode of something else. We gotta like figure out what we're gonna do. We have so many shows like that are sitting on like the back burner, and we're trying to figure out which ones can we let simmer. Like Kingdom Hearts and Breath of the Wild are series that I'm like, yeah, let's just put that on the back burner. Like, one's a Nintendo property, why the fuck not? I do feel like there has to be a way that we can upload these a little easier, or so that we can get through some shows, because we are soon going to be finishing Kingdom Hearts 3. Very, very excited about that. But you know, like
Did you ever end up reading the synopsis of Kingdom Hearts Kai?
Oh, we did a Let's Watch, so you gotta look forward to that. We Let's watched the full hour of that, and I am so sorry in advance when that video comes out, because we're real strong for like the first like 20 minutes, and then like for the last 40 minutes it's just us like trying to piece together what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, so we're all going, no wait, why though? What the fuck?
I'm sure that'll be just as much of a delight to watch, just for entirely different reasons.
Because we're all just sat there going, but why? How is this relevant?
Oh my god. No, the worst part is that essentially the whole thing is fucking bullshit, and the only thing, like, it's like 2 clips. You have to watch 2 clips and you'll get an idea of what's happening. Fucking
yeah, probably.
And we watched the whole hour, and it's like my favorite part is that we all met up that day to record Kingdom Hearts, and then like by the end of it, because it took so much time trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to set up the recording setup and all that stuff, it was already time for Sora to go. Like by the time we were done like doing it. And so I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm like, we have not played Kingdom Hearts. Like what the fuck? And like it was just that's gonna be a fun little thing for you guys to have, and you guys get to sit there and then suffer with us, and for the first and probably only Let's Watch we'll ever do on this show. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of Save Point City. It was kind of me just rambling the entire time, so
That's okay.
Yeah, we joined in a bit, but it was a fun ramble, so it's all good.
You had a lot to say.
Yeah, lots of stuff. No, we'll catch you guys next week. We will. There's going to be some changes. We're going to figure out when we're going to upload Save Point City, and what we'll do is we'll keep it on Sundays until we're ready to make the changes. So stay tuned, because this is the only way we do announcements. Apparently, is my podcast show. So we'll figure that out, and we're kind of getting where we need to go. And for those at home who aren't aware, we kind of break the show up into something called seasons. And the idea is that for the first kind of chunk of time, we get a good idea of like what works and what doesn't work. And then we're going to go away for a little bit, and then we're going to come back and make some changes and stuff like that. Nothing like 3 months. We're not going to go for like 3 months. We're going to probably go for like a week or 2. And then the idea is that we come back and we are able to like implement whatever changes we want to make. That way we can make the best show for you guys, you know? Like right now it's 13 episodes a week. We're gonna try to cut it down to 12, and then like try to figure out what works for you guys. So as always, just leave comments down below and all the videos and stuff like that. Let us know what you guys think, especially with like, you know, our videos for like Fire Emblem and stuff. That really helps us try to figure out what's going on and what we can do to make.
And it also helps fight the YouTube algorithms. Get us vaguely up there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somewhere.
One day we'll beat you, party of 6. That's such a bad joke. That's an old shitty joke. Never mind. Just go home, guys.
Just go home.
just don't listen to me. I've been so off on my jokes today. I made a fucking Peter and the Wolf joke. Fucking I made like I made the worst joke ever today in Danganronpa. So look forward to that one.
God, yeah, that was a fucking thing you did.
Yeah. All right, later, guys.
Later.
See yous.